And hello, Facebook and replay community. We are live tonight with our GLP-1 roundtable. I hope that you are watching live. I hope you'll get in the comments and interact with us a little bit. I've got a couple of my favorite, I guess I'm going to call them co-workers, right? I'm kind of self-employed, so I miss having a co-worker. I've got a couple of my favorite co-workers here who can help answer these questions. Just reminding everybody, we don't give medical advice. We're here sharing our personal story, maybe the story of some friends and family as well. We're talking about that subject that gets you kicked off of platforms, the things that you can't talk about, the thing that bothers us all. I'm a practitioner. I work with clients. When I do intake, it doesn't matter if you're male, if you're female, everybody, when a healthy body finds a healthy weight. And by the time you find a practitioner like myself or go into the doctor's office, the weight is one of your number one complaints. And it's not just vanity metrics. Again, we know a healthy body finds a healthy weight. When you're gaining mystery weight and you're not really changing anything, yes, sometimes it's hormones, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. A lot of times we're not eating as well as we'd like to believe, but there's inflammation, has so much to do with it. There's dysbiosis, there's layer after layer. But we do know that every pound that is additional on our body is detrimental. It is harder on your heart. It's harder on your joints. It's harder on your all over health. So, yeah, weight is a big deal. For a lot of years, I didn't want to admit that it was, mostly because everything that I was doing, especially intermittent fasting, like hardcore intermittent fasting, I feel good when I fast. My A1C has always been nice and low, would lead me to believe I didn't have metabolic dysfunction. That couldn't have been further from the truth because, again, a healthy body finds a healthy weight. And even though I was doing everything right, holistic health, using good quality supplements, I was not losing weight. So tonight, my friend Brenda does an amazing welcome and an awesome explanation of peptides, what they are or what they are not. Welcome, Brenda.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I just really want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to either jump on live or to catch this on a replay. We're going to have a really open and authentic conversation about peptides. And I want to make sure that you also know, again, that we are not providing medical advice tonight. This is just for information and education only. Also, before we go any further, I want to start with a very simple question that many people have when they first hear the topic. What exactly is a peptide? Well, peptides are short chains of amino acids, the same building blocks that make up proteins in our bodies. But instead of forming those really large structures like proteins, peptides act more like biological messengers. They tell cells what to do. They help regulate things like metabolism, inflammation, tissue repair, hormone signaling, sleep cycles, immune function, sexual function. And your body already produces thousands of peptides naturally. They're part of a communication system that allows your cells to coordinate and function properly. And over time, because of aging, stress, inflammation, illness, environmental factors, those signaling pathways can become less efficient. That's where therapeutic peptides come in. They help restore or enhance communication within the body's existing systems. Peptides are not magic, they are messengers. They don't override biology, they optimize signaling within our biology. And when signaling improves, functioning improves. And as we continue tonight, I really encourage you to stay curious and active in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking, what questions or comments or experiences maybe you've had. This isn't about quick fixes. This isn't about hype. This is about education, empowerment, and offering tools that help people feel better in their own bodies. For those of you that I haven't met yet, I'm a pediatric neuropsychologist. I'm 61. I live with MS. And about 9 years ago, I made a decision to fully own my health. And at that time, I was 80 pounds heavier. I was exhausted. I was pouring into my patients and families every day. But physically, I just didn't feel aligned with the life I wanted to live. So I began a health journey. I lost those 80 pounds. And more importantly, I've kept them off. For the past 6 years, I've trained for triathlons, endurance bike races, and just signed up to complete a half a marathon in all 50 states. Not because I'm trying to prove anything, but because movement makes me feel strong, capable, and alive. And my body allows me to do that now. But even with the discipline, even with the training, even with the nutrition dialed in, I still had these limits: energy, recovery, sleep, cognition, muscle growth. And as someone with MS, those things matter deeply. And I'll be honest, if you look back on my social media, you will see I've been a very big skeptic about one of these type of peptides, the GLPs, for a very long time. I thought they were the easy button, a shortcut, a crunch, but I'm also a research geek. So instead of staying skeptical, I dove into the science and I studied the mechanisms. I looked at inflammation pathways, neuroprotection, mitochondrial function, metabolic flexibility. And what I discovered completely shifted my perspective. These peptides aren't just about weight loss, they impact brain health, inflammation, energy regulation, recovery, to mention a few. They don't replace lifestyle, they enhance what lifestyle makes possible. So, about 7 months ago, I started using several different peptides, one at a time, so I could see what each of them were doing. And you'll hear about some of these different peptides tonight. The changes for me have been dramatic. My sleep improved, my cognition sharpened, my mood stabilized, my workouts became stronger, my recovery accelerated, my energy became really stable instead of up and down, unpredictable kind of path that I was on. And for someone living with MS, that's not small, that's really transformative. But here's where my heart comes in. For my entire career, my heart has been with busy parents, especially parents of children with special needs. I sit with families every day who are exhausted, parents who are juggling therapies, IEP meetings, medical appointments, work, and home. Parents who put themselves last, who are running on fumes, and honestly, busy parents in general are in the same boat. They're depleted, inflamed, sleep deprived, overwhelmed, and they do not need a shortcut. They need support. And what excites me about peptides is that they can provide foundational physiological support, better energy regulation, better sleep architecture, improved recovery, so people can actually implement the lifestyle changes that they're working so hard to do. Because even if you go on a GLP or any of the other peptides you might hear about tonight, you still have to build muscle, you still have to move, you still have to nourish your body, and you still have to prioritize sleep. Peptides amplify your effort, they do not replace it. Traditional medicine absolutely has its place. We need it for emergencies, acute care, life saving interventions. But I truly, truly believe peptides are part of the future of proactive, root cause, regenerative health. Not just managing our symptoms any longer, but supporting signaling pathways, optimizing cellular communication, enhancing resilience, and promoting longevity. Again, this isn't about quick fixes. It isn't about hype. It's really about education, empowerment, and offering tools that help people feel better in their own bodies. Because at 61 with MS, training for triathlons, endurance races, half marathons, I don't say that again to impress you. I say it because I want everyone, every overwhelmed parent, every exhausted professional, every person who feels like they're running on empty to know feeling better is absolutely possible. And when you feel better, you show up better for your families, for your work, for our purpose. And I'm just grateful to be here. So let's stay curious. Let us know what your thoughts are. No question is a dumb question. We may not know the answer to all of your questions, but if we don't, we will research the topic and we'll address it next week right here as well. But what excites me most isn't just what these tools can do for us individually. It's what happens when healthy, clear-minded, energized people begin serving others. We change families, we change communities, we change trajectory of aging, because longevity is not about adding years to life. It's about adding life to years. And with that, I really want to open it up for questions. Tanya, Jen, what are your thoughts and what have your experiences been, good and bad?
I have had good experiences. I was like you. I was a skeptic. I was completely against GLP-1s. I didn't even know that GLP-1 was a peptide. I didn't even know what a peptide was, to be honest. And then once I started learning about all of this, and my integrative oncologist had me start microdosing. And within the first week, all these joint pains and aches and all the stuff that I had going on started dissipating, and my inflammation markers started coming down. I was like, I need to share this, just because women, we just, I think, feel like this is how we're supposed to feel. And we downplay so many things because we're always so busy taking care of everyone else, and we seem to put ourselves last. And I did that for many, many years. A lot of people already know my story with my health struggles, and I'm a big advocate now about, you have got to pay for your health now, or you're going to pay for your sickness later. And I paid for both. So it's, you got to invest in your body and take care of your body, because it is the only body that you get. And so invest in it. But yeah, getting thrown into menopause, when I started chemo and all of that fun stuff, it wreaked havoc on my body. And I actually feel better now than I did in my 30s. And even looking back at pictures, I'm like, I look so much healthier now. I feel healthier. Do I still have aches and pains? Yeah, but they're not nearly like they used to be. And my face is not this red. It's the lighting in my house. I'm like, what the heck? I might have to turn my light on.
I am similar to you guys. I was super skeptic about the whole subject. And I was skeptic. I wasn't educated. I didn't have access. It just wasn't part of what I do. I am more holistic minded. I do functional health. I'm an RN by licensure. And I had a lot of interest. My clients were asking about it. Even my men clients were asking about peptides. And as a practitioner, I was kind of like, whoa, I don't have time to learn something new. I tried a plant peptide company that I didn't get any results with it. It was super expensive for my clients, and I didn't have anybody that really, had anything to rave about. So I kind of let it ride. And then everybody's talking about natural GLP-1s, and now we know that that really kind of isn't a thing. If there's somebody in the comments who is on that side of it and believes it is a thing, like, let's have a conversation, right? That's why we're here. We're open to that. But when our company, we represent LEMD. We're affiliates, we're product users, we're telling our friends, we're telling our family. So when that came along and I was able to join and offer this to my clientele, then I got interested. For me, it wasn't like a yeah, you should, no, you shouldn't. It was people want this. And if I don't have a trusted source, if I haven't vetted this, they're going to get it somewhere. And there's a good chance it's going to mess them up, because we all know that there are low budget stuff out there. And then there's my insurance is going to cover it overdose model. Those are the things that I was familiar with. Now, knowing the functional dosing, going slow, going low, like very few people have side effects when you manage your protein, when you manage your hydration, when you're not overdosed.
And the big thing is, if you're on a GLP-1 specifically, you have got to be getting in your electrolytes. And I just use Baja Gold sea salt, but it's so important so all your minerals are where they need to be, or your body's just going to wreak havoc. But even it's not just GLP-1. I always talk about my favorite, glutathione. I just love it.
Mhm.
I just feel like everyone should be on it. I absolutely love it. It's helped with, I think it's helped just with my body in general and detoxing. I have that MTHFR gene. And once I found that out, my doctor was like, you need to start on the glutathione. And I didn't even, I was like, oh, wait a second. I think we carry that. And went and looked, and I was like, okay, I'm going to order it. I'm going to start this. And I think that's really when I really started, it seemed like the bloat was going away. And I think it's because then my body was detoxing the way it was supposed to
Mhm.
be. I was getting rid of that inflammation with the GLP-1, but then the glutathione was helping me detox and all of that. So, oh, we have a question. Gail is saying, what type of GLP-1 are you microdosing? I microdose tirzepatide. We also have semaglutide, which, yes, is the active ingredient in Ozempic. So you can do either one. I usually recommend tirzepatide because it'll hit the two hormone receptors, the GLP-1 and GIP, instead of just the one. At higher doses, there's more side effects with the semaglutide. I don't have anyone that's on the weight loss one on semaglutide. All of my people are on tirzepatide, as far as I know. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I'm the same way, but the one thing that I love about ours is we can compound it. So we have 3 other choices to add to it. So we have the B12, which we can add in for energy. We have the L-carnitine, which also helps a little bit with energy, but more so with the metabolism and that kind of stuff. So it really gets at that extra even layer of fat. And then we have glycine so that we can kind of maintain more muscle mass, because we know with these things that you can potentially lose muscle, which none of us want to do. That's why strength training is also important, or doing those things, and protein is absolutely critical. So having those things in are really important. So I've had B12 when I started microdosing, and I did the trizepatide, and then I switched over to glycine for that muscle preservation as well. And then the Mott's C. Oh my God, can I scream that out loud? I just started on that, and that one is like unbelievable. My endurance is like through the roof. It's like crazy. It is so amazing. So I really, really like that one. And then the BPC 157, TB 500, they have such weird names. But that one, I'd had that ski injury, cross country ski injury. And about 3 weeks later, I had a big bike race down in Phoenix. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to bike with this injury that I had. So I went on that, and it was like amazing, the healing and how quickly it, healed, and did the best bike race I had. It worked really, really well. So it was like a lifesaver for me. So there's so many different ones. I'm really excited to talk about the ones now, the nasal spray ones that we have for mood and mood clarity and stress, and some of those. I have some people that are really looking at those right now too, because I can't wait to see some of the results from those.
Yeah.
I'm excited for those ones too. I think I had someone just order last week, so I'm gonna have to check in and see, because I guess they work really well together. So I don't know. I haven't really went down that rabbit hole yet, but I did do some research on MOTS-C, and since Retta is not approved yet, and we won't be bringing that on until it is, as far as I know. But the tirzepatide with the MOTS-C is comparable to the Retta, I guess. So, yeah, I'm also taking MOTS-C, and I don't know. It's only been like a week, so. Of course, I started it, then I was out of town and all of that. But I also
I
take
have the Mott's too, and I've been so inconsistent with it. This week, I'm gonna be consistent.
yeah.
I'm gonna be consistent. And I just want to say hey to Gail. Gail is, I think she must be on your page, watching on your page, Brenda.
Okay.
But Gail, I get to see you at Eco, yay. Gail and I are practitioner friends, and I bet Gail does follow you. She's got a daughter. So that's awesome. I can't wait to see you, Gail. That will be wonderful. We could talk more peptide talk when we're at Eco. Um, more questions in the comments. Come on,
I
everybody.
love it. Yeah, and the thing is that, peptides aren't for everyone. And there's certain conditions that you can't use particular peptides. And that's what I really, really love about LEMD. Because when I was looking at going on even the BPC 157 TB 500, I had to get a note from my neurologist because I have MS and I'm on autoimmune kind of medication. And they could have just slung that at me, right, and make money off of me. They would, just sent it to me. But they made me get a note. Kind of felt like a note from my mom, or whatever, but a note from my doctor saying that he felt it was okay for me to go on that. And because my MS is stable right now because of the lifestyle changes I've made, he had no problem with that. But he said, looking at that, if it would have been 10 years ago and looking at my blood work from back then and all that, he would have never recommended it. So the doctors that really we have on board are doing amazing. And then also, I don't know if you guys have anybody use, we have the one chiropractor, functional doctor now with Ellie that you can schedule a consult before you place an order. And it's $50 that you can set up a consult with them. And then to ask any questions to figure out, is this something I could use or how would I use it? What would be these are my goals. What are the best things to look at using, that kind of stuff? Is there going to be any interference with anything I have? And then if you do order, then you get $25 off your first order as well. But I've had 2 people use that and they've really said it was very, very helpful for them. So that's another nice feature.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
agree.
nice.
That is amazing. I agree. Let's see. No, I don't see any other comments or questions here, but I can't see everyone. Oh, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
What
makes ours different than the name brand GLPs? Well, I would say, first off, we can compound them with the other 3 possibles. So either B12, L-carnitine, or glycine. They're individualized, so they really are set up.
Price.
So they're not pre-made pens that you have to do the same dose. So you get to draw up, what dose the doctor says. But then if you're having different side effects or not having enough, you can talk to the doctors that we have within LEMD. You'll have a doctor assigned to you to make modifications with that. So it's easier to switch that around. So I believe we have a lot less side effects because it is individualized more so. I mean, that's what I think. I don't know about the 2 of you.
Yeah. And price.
Ours is
price.
Yeah, the price for one. And then ours is not FDA approved because it's a compounded medication, just like vitamin D. Supplements are not either. But every single product that goes into ours, the pharmacy that we use is NAPB accredited. It's a 503A /B compounding pharmacy. So everything is inspected by the FDA. Anything that goes into our peptides, it's a sterile facility. There's lots of testing and all of that. So I don't know. I haven't had anyone that's had any sort of reactions.
Yeah. I have a friend that used to work at a pharmacy, and that was, her and I talked before I had access to any of the compounding, and she would say, there's kind of that bait and switch where people would get insurance coverage for the first few pens or the first few doses, and then they go to the pharmacy to pick that up, and they're like, $1,200, please. For a month's worth, because that's it. The insurance company did that bait and switch. So price range. Of course, even with us, as you go up on that weight loss dose, the price is going to go up. But most people are averaging about $300 to $400 a month, depending on what they're taking. So that's a lot of it. Is brand name of anything is a huge, huge price tag. Thank you so much for the question. We got another question.
Could peptides help with the de novo genetic mutation? That is one, Gail, I will have to do some research on.
I
And
figured that was a Brenda question.
yeah, I will definitely do some research on that, Gail, and tune in next week. I will have the answer for us next week. I will do some really, really good research on that and find out. And of course, again, we're not providing medical advice at this point. Peptides do not treat, I mean, we do not cure any disease. So that's a
Right.
really important thing to remember.
Yeah,
But it
Brenda's
can
just
help with
saying she'll
symptom
look it up.
management
Yeah.
as well, and can help our body just remember how to function better. But I will definitely look up that if they could help. Because again, it wouldn't cure it. Like the question was, could it help? And it might help. So I will do some investigation on that. Good question. I love it.
Well, just
So
like
tell me what that
Hashimoto's.
is. What's the gene mutation? What is the outcome? What do people experience if they have it?
So I have to look at that one and find that one out. There's so many different ones that I will have to, again, do some investigation on
Okay,
that because
awesome.
I've
I
not ever even heard of
don't
that.
always know
So
those because there's so
No.
many.
Yeah, me neither. I bet that one's personal for you, Gail. So thanks for the question. Awesome. We
Yeah.
love the interaction.
yeah, I was gonna say, because I have Hashimoto's as well. So I mean, it hasn't cured my Hashimoto's because we can't say that. I do know somebody though that has used peptides and she has reversed her Hashimoto's. And what it helps with is the inflammation. It takes that inflammation down. And so, like my antibody numbers, when I first started microdosing, the whole reason that my integrative oncologist had me start was because that TPO was going through the roof again. And I started microdosing, and that's what brought it back down. It calmed that inflammation in my body. And I had tried so many different things. I follow the AIP diet. I'll do all the things. And that was the only thing that helped. And then now I'm also on thymosin alpha 1, which helps with your immune system. It's amazing I highly suggest anyone with an autoimmune disease or, anything with, if you get sick a lot, have a weakened immune system, that one is really, really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just, so many things cause the inflammation, right? And we know that these peptides help with inflammation. And that's one of the biggest things, I think, for many, especially the autoimmune, like all of the autoimmune, because the MS is an autoimmune as well. It's that inflammation and those inflammation markers. Oh, great. I'm glad you put in the full gene one there, Gail, because I will definitely look that one up. And we can kind of look at that for you and let you know what I find out. I'll do some real investigation. I love this. This is my kind of thing. This is my wheelhouse, looking up this kind of stuff. So I love it.
What I love too is like those off-label benefits. So many people talk about side effects, which of course is mostly kind of GI, nausea, vomiting, which a person can get, muscle loss, which happens if you're doing nothing and sitting on the couch, getting fatter, you're still losing muscle, right? So nobody talks about that. But I love some of the people that I've interacted with, the clients who are having reduced compulsive behaviors, or they're having reduced alcohol cravings or improved mental health. And yes, there is some people who will have the opposite effect where when you start changing that gut-brain connection or that serotonin, dopamine, some people fall the opposite ways, where they will not be able to use them because they feel too depressed. So those things are real. Those things are, we talk about that. Not everybody can not be affected by a bee sting. Some people can eat certain foods and some people can't. So peptides, even though they are something our body makes, they're not always the best thing for everybody. So honest conversation, that is why we're here.
But that's why with LEMD, having the medical oversight is so important.
So
so
important.
that you have that doctor, if you're having any of those things, that you can have those conversations so that you can make changes really, really quickly. And that's just absolutely, in my view, if you go on a peptide and you don't have that, you are playing fire with your body. And I'm not willing to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
and you're just not being accountable. You know,
Right.
some people, I'm one with authority issues. I don't love anybody telling me what to do, and I might go against the prescription or whatever on my own free choice. But some people these days are so rogue. Like they just do not want anybody advising them like whatsoever. Yeah.
Okay, so Jackie was asking me how long was I microdosing before they rechecked my antibodies? 3 months. So they don't like to check them really often because it takes a while for them to come down. But I think when I first started, it was 3 months. I'd have to go back and look. Right now, we're not, I just got tested a couple weeks ago. We're not going to retest them now for 6 months. So I think my doctor's trying to get me. She's like, go off of how your body is feeling. Do not keep, because it messes with my head so much. If it goes up even like 5 points, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And she's like, how are you feeling? And I'm like, I'm feeling fabulous. Like I feel 100 times better than I did, like before I started having all these health issues. I'll just put it that way. I feel so much better. I feel like a new person. And so I have to go by that. And especially once I got done with chemo and all that pain started coming on, I don't have that. I don't have those aches and pains and stuff like that. I wish my energy would come back more than it has. Just being
Well,
honest, my
then
energy.
come on now. How many trips have you
I
taken
know.
since you started LAMD? Between that and your real estate and all the things you're doing,
Yeah.
girl, your energy, this is self-induced.
I know. So, oh, and then Cindy says, I'm hoping to start soon. So that's exciting, Cindy.
That
Yes,
is
Cindy. I know you're going to get started soon, and I'm so excited for you. You are going to feel so much better. I just can't even wait for it.
all right. Cindy must be Team Brenda over here, huh?
She is. Cindy
All
is an
right.
amazing mother
All
with
right.
all special needs kids, runs a daycare as well for special needs children
Oh
in
my
Billings,
goodness.
and is
Oh
absolutely
man.
phenomenal.
That
Phenomenal.
That's wonderful, Sydney. We love it when you are proactive. When, I don't know what if that's genetic. This mom's thing where everybody else comes first until like you get to be 40 or 50, and then you finally feel like you have the money, the permission, the whatever to do things for yourself. So I am such an advocate for women figuring out this younger and figuring out that self love or wellness or whatever it is that should not mean fake fingernails, $7 coffees, fake eyelashes. That is not self-care. Like in your 20s and your 30s, that's what everybody thinks is self-care, and then it's you wait for the problems to come, you wait for the Hashimoto's, you wait for the extra 30 pounds and all those things before you really figure out what self-care is. So I love it when young people figure this out sooner than I did.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm like, you need to take care of your body now. And when you were talking about going against the grain, um, oh my gosh, I have so many people because so they wanted me to start hormone blockers, aromatase inhibitors. They wanted me to be on them for 10 years. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like had, I don't have any of my woman bits anymore. And I know that estrogen will go up in your body if you're not detoxing it properly. And I really try to follow non-toxic living as much as possible. I mean, we can't control, a lot of environmental stuff, but what we put on our body and in our body, it's so imperative. And then there's supplements that I take to help clear out that bad estrogen too. But yeah, so many people are like, oh my gosh, I can't I can't believe today I had a lady at the hospital. When I was at the hospital, she's like, well, I had to take them for 10 years. And I didn't really say anything. I'm like, you don't have to
You don't
do
have to do
anything. Like,
anything.
it is your body, you know? I mean, I didn't even have to do the treatment. You know, if I would have chose not to do the treatment, that's my choice. But, you know, so I combine different modalities. And I just truly do feel like I'm healing my body and I feel so much better.
Right.
So,
And like I said at the very beginning, it's like peptides aren't magical. They're not the be all, the end all, right? I mean, we all do a lot of other things to
yeah,
take care of our bodies as well. And we do take other supplements and we do look at other things and we exercise and we focus on sleep, hydration, and all of those things. So peptides are another tool. That's how I
the
look at it. They're
tool,
another tool in our tool chest for
yes,
our overall health. And when
exactly.
I look at adding a tool, I look at, what's the evidence for it? Is it going to do any harm? How is, all of those things, and where's the research on it, and all of those kind of components. And Kenya, because I ordered under you to start with, I didn't even mention I was using this thing for about 4 months because I wanted to know myself, and I never ever will recommend something until I've been doing it personally, till I've had the results, till I can trust the company and the people and know that it's not a scam and really believe in it and can dive into the research because I'm just not. I've worked really hard on my reputation and I am not willing to just go out there to sling a product or do whatever. That's not what I do. I do it because I find something that works for me and I want to share it with other people when I know it helps myself. So
Yeah.
there's my spiel.
That's exactly how I was too, though. I didn't tell I don't even think I told my husband at first, to be honest. Because well, no, I did. I came home and I'm like, you're not going to believe what the oncologist said. and then when my integrative oncologist called the next day, I'm pretty sure the two of them had a phone call. And then I was like, oh, okay, maybe I need to look into this. And yeah, I don't think I said anything for like a whole month, even though that first week I could tell a complete difference. It was they did do my labs within that first month because it was when I got my labs back that showed a decline in my antibodies. And I was like, okay, my labs are showing that, and plus I had fatty liver, my liver enzymes I could not ever get to change. And those started coming down. My anemia resolved. Like it was like all these things were working in my favor. And I was like, okay, I didn't change my eating because I had been eating really clean, doing all the things. I'm like, it's the peptides. And so, yeah, that's when I started sharing too. Because, yeah, I was the same way. I'm like, I cannot start sharing about this unless I know 100% and I truly believe in it. So, and I mean,
I was kind of the opposite, honestly. I vetted the company, so I was okay with all of that. But my body's weird. It doesn't react typical to anything. So I, of course, did try, still use, but I was like, as a business owner, as an RN, as a holistic health person, I'm telling everybody because I knew people were getting screwed over in other places with other products. So for me, I'm like, I don't really care if it ends up working for me or not. The evidence shows it works for what, probably 80% of people who use it. So I still go off more other people's results than my own personal results because they're always going to vary. But the fact of the matter is, I have such a protective I just need to protect people if they're getting screwed over. In fact, I had just a recent brand partner who came on, and she was one of those people a couple years ago who got some really junk stuff wherever she got it, and it didn't work, and it was a horrible experience. So I didn't wait. I was like, no, like this is oversaturated, and people are just going to continue to get trashier, trash if I don't get out there and say, hey, Awaken Wellness has got you covered.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, because I have, I think, 3 or 4 that were getting it elsewhere, and they were so scared to start because they had gotten so sick, so sick. And I'm like, well, where were you getting it? Well, I just go in and they give me a shot, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
or people were having like
what?
parties, like you know, a Tupperware party, but everybody's just getting together, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that
One
really a thing?
Yowler vial literally had a little, like a, I have one of the label printers. I was
Oh,
gonna.
jeez.
It
Oh,
had a label printer, and it said take 50 units like once a week, and I'm like, well, what's the strength? You know, there it just came in a clear bottle, and it was tinted pink, and just had this label on it that said take 50 units once a week, and I'm like, so we had no idea what our dose was, nothing, and I'm like, we're just gonna have to start at the lowest dose. But I'm like,
and
people
I
are.
I feel like we're still trying to clean that up. You know what
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean?
And these
Reputation
people
wise,
were
I feel
getting
like we're
it.
still trying to clean that up.
These people were getting it from a hairdresser here in Billings, a hairdresser that was mixing it and selling it, and I'm like,
So scary. Oh my God.
oh my gosh, I know it is so terrible. Well, I don't know. It's like you're injecting something into your body and you don't even know. Yeah. So, but they had way better results with the stuff that we have and feel way better. And so, I mean, it was a win-win. You know,
Yeah.
you live and you learn.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yes. Well, let's wrap it up, ladies. Brenda needs to get off, and we'll be
Yes.
back next week. So
Yes, we will.
Brenda's got some homework to do. I love
Yes, I'm
that.
excited to do some more research.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
actually gonna go and look that up too. I always like learning about.
I know
Awesome.
it's amazing. Yeah.
If there's anybody on the replay that has questions, we each monitor our pages, so we'll get back to you. Join our Facebook group. So it's called the GLP1 Roundtable. Real conversations. The icon that's in the top right corner. That's how you know you're in the right group. I'm pointing the wrong way, huh? That's how you know you're in the right group. The replay will be there in the group as well. So that group has been way more stagnant than I thought. There's not much conversation. There's not much going on there, and that's not what it should be. We should all be in there telling stories, chatting it up. So join the group, and we'll be back Tuesday night. If you've got a story you'd like to share, come on live with us. If you've got a other position, if you want to have a grown-up conversation from a different angle, we'd love to have you. All right,
Yes.
good night, everybody.
All right. Good night.